Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into a 2025 review of a product called PrimeBiome. It's a supplement that's built around a pretty fascinating idea. What if the secret to radiant skin isn't in a jar on your counter, but in a gummy that works on your gut? Let's break down what the source material has to say. So, the review we're looking at starts with a question that honestly probably sounds familiar to a lot of us. It taps into that frustration of juggling different creams for your face and separate pills for bloating, and it kind of asks, hey, what if we're looking at this all wrong? And that question leads right to the core philosophy here. The whole argument is that maybe the answer isn't about what you put on your body, but what you put in it. That true, lasting health for both your digestion and your skin really has to start from the inside out. Okay, so let's get into this main concept, which the source calls the gut-skin axis. It sounds a little technical, but the idea is simple. How are your gut and your skin, two things that seem so separate, actually talking to each other? Well, according to this review, it all comes down to something called cell turnover. You know, that natural cycle where your skin sheds old cells and makes new ones. The source says this process naturally slows down as we get older. And here's the kicker. It argues that a healthy gut is what delivers all the nutrients your skin needs to keep that renewal process going strong. All right, so that's the theory behind it. But what about the actual product at the heart of this review? Let's take a look at how the source itself defines PrimeBiome. First things first, the review makes it really clear this is not a medicine. It's described as a dual-action dietary supplement. Think of it as a daily gummy made with natural ingredients that's designed to tackle both digestive issues and skin health at the exact same time. The review also makes a point to tick off a few key features. It emphasizes that the formula is natural and vegan, but it also points to the manufacturing standards, noting it's made in an FDA-registered and GMP-certified facility, which are basically seals of approval for quality control. So the big question is, how does a single gummy supposedly pull all of this off? The source material actually outlines a very specific three-step approach for how it claims to work. So here's the game plan it lays out. It's not just one thing, but a kind of 1-2-3 punch. First, you introduce the good guys, the beneficial bacteria. Then you feed them so they can actually stick around and do their job. And finally, you work on reducing inflammation in the body. And that first step, it all comes down to this number, 500 million. According to the review, that's how many units of a specific probiotic, Bacillus coagulans, are packed into each gummy. The source says this particular strain was picked because it's tough enough to survive your stomach acid and actually make it to your gut alive. And this brings us to a really important distinction the review makes between probiotics and prebiotics. It's a simple way to think about it. Probiotics are the good bacteria themselves, the little workers. Prebiotics, like the inulin mentioned in the source, are the food for those workers. The review's argument is that you really need both to create a healthy environment in your gut. Okay, so that's the how. But what about the what? What are the actual ingredients that make all this happen? The review gives us a look inside the formula, so let's check out the key players. And here they are. What's really interesting is the blend. You've got the gut-focused stuff, like the Bacillus coagulans probiotic, but then it's paired with herbs like bapchi, which the review connects to collagen production, and fennel, which is there for bloating. It even includes things like lion's mane, which is often tied to brain health and immunity. So we've covered the theory and what's inside the gummy, but what about the real-world stuff? Let's get into what the review says about the results people might see, how much it costs, and all the purchasing details. The review lays out a whole range of potential benefits. You have the expected ones, like better digestion and less bloating. But then there are others, like claims of having more energy or even a more balanced mood. One key detail the source mentions is timing. It says that while you might feel the digestive benefits pretty quickly, the skin and other wellness perks are best seen after about 2 months. To try and put a human face on these claims, the review includes some user testimonials. This quote, for example, comes from a customer named Catherine, who connects taking the supplement to a really tangible, life-changing result. Now, when it comes to price, the structure is pretty clear. They want you to buy in bulk. One model is listed at $69, but that price drops all the way down to $49 a bottle if you go for the 6-month supply, which the review points out is the best deal. And here's a big point the source really makes sure to emphasize, the guarantee. Every single order apparently comes with a 60-day money-back policy. The review presents this as a way to make trying the product pretty much risk-free for anybody who's on the fence.
And if you're wondering where you can get it, the review is very specific. You won't find PrimeBiome on Amazon or in stores. This is apparently a deliberate move by the company to make sure customers only get the real, authentic product.
So when you boil it all down, the single most important idea to take away from this review is its whole philosophy. It's pitching an internal solution for problems we usually think of as external. The entire premise is that if you fix and rebalance your gut, you can see a dramatic change in the health and look of your skin.
And all of this leaves us with a final question to chew on. As we learn more about how all our body systems are connected, ideas like the gut-skin axis are becoming more and more mainstream. So the question is, are products like this the actual future of wellness? Or are they just a really smart new marketing angle for a combination of well-known ingredients? It's definitely something to think about.